Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bro Talk. I am one of your hosts, Kareem J. Hayes. We got BMS, okay, initials this time. And then we got Mark Guthrie, aka Bruiser, and Isaac. He can't be with us today. He's got some things going on, so he got to take care of business. But, brothers, it's good to see y'all. It's another Monday, 9 o'clock. Well, 9:07. But we here. And it's good to see y'all, brothers. Hopefully, y'all had a pretty impactful weekend. It sounds like some of us had busy weekends, uh, and had a lot going on. So, what's going on? What transpired this past weekend?
Yeah, birthday party. Shout out to Pastor Edlin Lanier. That's Auntie right there. So she celebrated a birthday. I ain't gonna say because they were
Don't put
talking.
nobody out there.
Yeah, but I'm listen, man. You
Yo,
get
black don't crack though, bro.
yeah, you get some years under you, and man, it's a blessing to be here. That's the truth and the reality. So
Bro, amen.
happy birthday. Uh, then Saturday I worked all day. From we had some programs going on at one of our centers, and then I was facilitating a workshop for work with a partner community agency. So shout out to Snug 585, man, doing amazing work with youth as well in the community. And it was a great workshop. But again, that was my Saturday. I mean, the whole day, and that's just what it is. We do this work because we love it. So and then
And
yesterday,
Sunday, you was at church all day.
not really. So we had church, of course, but then after church, there was a banquet. And if you know Apostle CB McLeod, you know that man is well deserving of his flowers. And so there was a celebration and banquet for him and Lady McLeod, man. Again, that they
Oh
are
yeah, I don't know if I know him, but I think I know his children.
yeah,
I
Chuck
believe. Yes.
Chuck
Yes,
a
yes,
monster
yes.
drums. Chuck,
He's definitely nice. Shout out to Chuck.
yeah. So yeah, that's his junior right there. That's
Okay.
and he a bad man on them drums. So yeah, it was beautiful, man, to celebrate. Some amazing people, humble people. I mean, for as anointed and gifted as he is, you know, such a humble man. And then it just like wow, you know what I mean? You see when you see certain people who are gifted and talented and especially what I mean in any realm, but you see it um, growing. You see it more and more in the body of Christ. It lends itself to a hubris and arrogance that you see that's growing to be more prevalent. But these people are so humble and just love people.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, man. Shout out to them. And I know we'll do some shout outs a little bit later. Um, but bro, what you got going on, man?
Hey man, I didn't really have much going, man. I'm just so grateful to be alive, man. I'm grateful to see you brothers as well.
Likewise,
Um,
likewise.
it's always a blessing, man, when I could get on this platform and see y'all gentlemen. Brother Isaac was busy with some work stuff he had to take care of. So he might join us later, but he might not, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. No
so
doubt.
for me, I was just spending time with the little man this weekend, man. Um, no, the regular father thing that we all do, man. That's it. And just kind of chill out a little bit.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah, that's
Hey,
it.
I just want to say it looked like the YouTube is jumping off today. So uh definitely appreciate the algorithm for putting that out there. So I think we should get right into it today because we got this topic that we want to talk about that we've kind of discussed it before in other bro talks, but I think this one definitely has some I think we need to bring a little bit of clarity around this particular topic. So if you're new to Bro Talk, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. Have any comments? Go ahead and put those comments in. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear what your questions are. But today we want to talk about fathers, and we know that Father's Day is coming up. And we know that Father's Day for some is a great occasion, and for others, it's just another day. And then for others, it's a sad day because some of us may not, have our dads with us. So for the time being, brothers, what do y'all think about the reasons why men, particularly fathers, are spending more time with their kids? Like, and just to back up, I'm sorry, because I have a tendency to like jump in the deep end, but there was some research that went out. We saw an Instagram post. We talked about it in the back channel, but there was an Instagram post that talked about how more men are now working less and taking more time to spend with their kids in the home. That's whether that's sports, whether that's school activities, hanging out with friends and different things like that. But why now? Like, why you think that's just starting to gain some traction now?
So let me answer this is best as I can, without sounding like Wallace Smith. Speaking of fathers, uh, the reality is if you look at the data, this has been known amongst the Black and brown families. So I'd like to see who this data was, or this was compiled on, because, or who was studied, who was, what was the cross section of this study, the demographics of it, because as despite what the narrative is said for decades, we have been the most engaged demographic with our children. Again, I'm amongst men historically. So that said, in terms of new, if we're saying, we spend even more time with our children than we did before, then that's just more credit to the Black and brown men who are in the lives of their children, and I think it pushes back against the narrative that much more. That said, one of the things, if we're going to contextualize the pandemic and kind of its role or impact in this study, in this data, I would say the impact it would, for me, most kind of likely had would be we had a moment where we reflected and realized like what's most important in life. Kind of I'll zoom out, or I'll zoom in and kind of speak to my own personal experience, not necessarily related to the pandemic, but quasi, right? I lost my father and my brother, February and March of 2021. That year, my wife and I, we decided we're going to, we were going on a cruise for Christmas, because for us, we realized how short life is. And we said, we're going to make memories as opposed to, spending on gifts. Let's make memories, because memories you have forever. And these toys, they see the garbage can and before long, but memories stay with you for life. So that's what we did. And I think that emphasis of life being put into perspective is what changed a lot of people's minds and kind of maybe approach to what they prioritize. Yes, we got to pay bills and we need to do that, but time is very short, and so I think people, men in particular, may have put that in much more perspective, and rather than make all this money and then look back and say, man, where did the time go? And now my kids aren't kids anymore. What do I do now? Because you can't make up the time. You can make up the money, but you can't make up the
Yeah,
time.
I know. I keep hearing that too, but here's the thing, right? I'll hear people say that and like they know it's coming, but yet don't always do something to change it. So let's say, oh, you woke up one morning and your kid went from being 3 years old to 16, and you're trying to figure out where the time went. My question is what were you doing for 13 years? For the time, to move like that. I and the reason why I say that B is because I think we know that time runs fast, but we underestimate like the actual speed in which that happens, right? So I was making a comment to my wife about our daughter. I was like, because she went on her eighth grade trip last week, and I was like, "Yep, she is going on her eighth grade trip. Next week, she's gonna be going to college, and it's gonna move that fast." And I'm thinking about how I can make a conscious effort. We can make a conscious effort in order to make sure that we're doing what you're talking about, like making those memories and walking them through those lessons and teaching them about money and finance and teaching them about relationships and how to help healthy relationships and the difference between healthy and toxic, all those things, because at some point they will leave the nest and we want them to be prepared. We want them to be ready. Um, that's kind of what I was thinking from it. Brew, I want to hear your thoughts on this on this too. It B, I think you're right in terms of who the data who the participants were in the data, right? Because traditionally, black men, black fathers have been very, very, very involved in their kids' life, especially when they have when they have the opportunity or they take the opportunity to be. I should even say have when they take the opportunity, and a lot of them do that. And it's not just football; it's other parts of their lives that they're in for black and brown young boys. So that myth definitely should be something that we challenge every single time we hear it. Brew, I'd love to hear from you because you usually have a global perspective on things. I know
We ain't
Balel and
even,
I are Americans.
we ain't even got to challenge it. Just again,
Mhm.
present the data that we know is out there on the
Yeah,
black and brown fathers. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
know, black and brown fathers are more engaged. We're more involved in rearing and feeding and disciplining. We every aspect that or metric that they looked at, we were the most engaged.
yeah.
I believe that. I think the topic that we chose tonight to talk about is a good topic in the sense that when we was talking backstage, I made a statement saying that I don't think this is a new thing. When B you say you stated B that as people of color, the black and the brown, you know, we've been doing it for a minute. We've been doing it for a while, you know, and I think now because of social medias, we don't give social media the credit for highlighting it. So we usually hear when we have our major athletes, you hear them say, "Mom, this is my mom. This my mom. This." Lately, you've been hearing dad. You've been hearing mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? You've been hearing a lot more dad names calling within this, trajectory in relationship building and family isms. You know, globally, what I'm saying, like for me, I travel a lot, and I'm from the Caribbean, and I want to say the women they do most of the things, but disciplinary is and certain things. The father is very active. The fathers are very active in making sure you're disciplined, making sure your chore is done and stuff like that. Mom don't really worry about that stuff because dad have that in control, or your uncle or some man that's around the house. So I think we've been doing it, man. I just think that it's just been highlighted now. And like you say, B, I don't know the dynamic of that study. If they're talking about us or they're talking about all men, what I'm saying? I would like to see the percentage of Caucasian men to black men in this type of thing. You know, I was watching a show and I look at the kid that should be the number one draft pick in the NBA in a couple weeks. And his father run the show. he's smart and very intellectual, man. You know what I'm saying? He has help, but he's not signing with an agent. Well, I'm gonna sign my son if I know how to do business. Well, I'm gonna sign with somebody to get 25% or 10% of what my son is making. I could go in there. I could, if I have a lawyer could read the fine print. That's all that matters. It could be a family lawyer that I've been paying anyway. That's my one more thing on her or his agenda to, look at the fine print of things that we need to do. A lot of agent and stuff like that, people is not gonna like it. I think that happened to Lamar, football player from Baltimore, because his mom is like an agent for him, and a lot of people was, oh, you need an agent, they need an agent. So we still don't get the credit that we do at times. And sometimes I think that we should just go ahead, man, and continue to be the parent that we are as men. As men, just be the parent that we can, man. We have three men on this platform, 4. And we all have our family, and we all do a great job at being fathers. We may not get the credit for it, but guess what? I ain't looking for credit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't looking for credit, man, for Father's Day. It's coming and all that stuff. But just so you know, for y'all people that's out there that's watching this, I do take Father's Day gifts, though. We all do. So, we'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no socks, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no socks. So
Hold on. How you going to say you can take gifts but then say you don't want no socks, bro?
I don't tell them I want no socks, bro. I'm going to get socks. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no socks. What you want me to lie and then they get me socks and I throw it out? I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah, man. So we've been doing this for a minute, bro. We've been doing this for a minute. And I just think that it's just the highlight that we getting now about, the transparency of us doing the things that we're doing for our kids now. We talk about it. People come on the show, could hear you talk about KJ, B talking about little B, you know what I'm saying? And his sons, my son put his head in the camera from time to time. Ike's son, we talk about being a father. I'm talking about gymnastics with his girls, and we there. We on the front line, So it is what it is, man. We just got to continue to do that and continue to make this world a better place. The more fathers we have in the world with our children, the better it will be for the teachers in the classroom, better for the police officers in the streets, you know what I'm saying, better for the firefighters, you know what I'm saying, and everybody else, man, the counselors and everybody else, man. That's my piece.
What's interesting about you saying that though is I'm gonna get in trouble at prep, but
so
go ahead.
We're gonna get in trouble.
I'll bail you out.
Bother it.
Man, the reality is I'm not convinced that that's even what society wants. Like, if it's as much as we know that it would be better for the more men we have involved, the more fathers we have involved in communities, in the lives of children, period. You know what I mean? Whether it's your biological or just in the lives of children.
Yeah.
We know the residual effect or impact is we won't see jails and prisons filled up. You know what I mean? But that flies in the face of what our society like somehow prisons.
When you say our society, who's what you talking about? Our society? You mean the majority?
Yeah, the dominant society. That's the reality. Is we know that they are, for anybody unfamiliar with the cradle to prison pipeline, they are building prisons based on the projections of third grade state tests. You know what I mean? So performance at the third grade level is the determinant that they're using to project how much space or how to house inmates they will need. So they're giving up on our children at the earliest of stages, right? So
are they giving up though? Because, and this is why I said, because if they already have a plan,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean by the plan. Okay. They're giving up on them being contributors, positive contributors to society, when they say based upon their performance on this test in third grade, we need this much more space in prisons to house the next generation of inmates.
But if we know that, and I'm not talking about us, like three of us in the room, but if people know that though, then why is this continuing to be a challenge? Because wouldn't it take, it's a battle between two parties, or are we saying that, hey, dominant society got this thing figured out and we just fighting and scrapping to try to make ends meet?
Absolutely, because I mean, you know, if you look at we live in a society where there's a two-party system, and neither one of them really getting it right like that. I mean, I will say this, that
It's the Tale of Two Cities, right? That book
yeah,
we had to read years ago. Yeah.
I will say this now from a national standpoint. Again, we talking about data. We know who the last 10 recessions, what party the last 10 recessions that this nation has experienced have been under what party's leadership. We know that certain things affect the country, the nation, a certain way. But when you look at the lives of Black and brown people, the reality is again, if think about it, when someone goes to jail or prison for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens is there's a lawyer on both sides who are part of this process. There's the arresting officers or officers. There's a judge, and we're just talking about the people kind of presiding over situations. You know what I mean? COs and all that. But then you also have people, to build a prison, you got to have a contractor, an architect, a plumber, an electrician, a mason. Like, you got to have all of these careers tied to people being put in prison. And then when they're in prison, the phone systems and the food systems. I just encourage everyone to go watch the documentary The 13th. You know what I mean? Go watch the documentary The 13th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you which streaming platform is on. Just Google it, because they ain't writing us no check. So go check out, go find which streaming platform is on. It's by Ava DuVernay, who's a phenomenal.
Yeah, that was a great documentary, man.
Yeah,
that was a great documentary. Yeah.
And again, you will learn all of this information. There's a lot of this information that you will see what happens when people are put in prison. So it's beneficial. I mean, it's advantageous to society in a way to figure out ways for us to fail, because it keeps people not with jobs, with careers.
Why the distinction though?
The distinction between job and career?
Yeah, like why the distinction?
Oh, because careers you can stay in for the long haul. You can retire. You have a pension, so that way after you retire, not only are you getting SSI, but you got potentially a 401k somewhere, as well as your pension and maybe a Roth IRA. You've done quite well for yourself. This is the stability that people are looking for on the back end of life.
I got a theory though. I got a theory about that. Follow me on this one. I believe going from getting paid hourly to going salary had positive, benefits, but also a lot of negative. I think negative implications. And here's why. So, let's say your parent works in a plant, and that was the job back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, right? Father's working in the plants, right? He worked in the plant, and he was able to make, let's say, 60 grand was his starting salary, which back in the 90s, man,
yeah,
you was all right. You doing all right, right? Especially if you had a lot of kids. And any time you needed to do something like buy a car, pay for your kids, something, make sure your wife, take care of them, because there were more married black families back then, traditional families.
Yo, hold up. Just because you said it, and I'm just one of those people. I like to put things in context.
Uh,
Do you? Can I tell you what? With the 1990, so adjusted for inflation, if you made $60,000 in 1990,
oh, you had to look it up. You had to.
do you $153,000 is what that amounts to today, adjusted for inflation.
Listen, man. Yo, bro, our parents were rich, man. Like, and then so keep that thought. Now imagine, because they're getting paid hourly, right? This is hourly. Now there's a drawback to this. We'll get to that in a second, which is really about this topic. You make it 60 base. Anytime you want to do something that requires you to get more money, what did our dads do? Or what did our parents do? Overtime. OT. And you know it was OT time because come like what? Thanksgiving, holidays. Yo. Oh, dad he going in like Christmas evening? Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Because he was gonna get time and a half plus overtime. And I think for a lot of us, that created, at least in my situation, I can only speak for me. At least in my situation, that really allowed for us to have opportunities, which led us to move into the suburbs because dad made money and dad was able to get overtime. And that overtime is what paid a lot of things. That's what paid for the cars. That's what paid for my dad didn't believe in buying clothes, stuff like that. I had to buy that myself. But anything that we needed that was a necessity.
Man, listen, I bet you Mama Hayes believed in buying clothes because
I mean, yeah.
mom's gonna do nothing else.
Yeah.
Make sure her babies.
Yeah, we fresh. Fresh though. Make sure we fresh. But so let's look at now. Now let's say you get a salary of 60 grand. Bruh, you stuck. That ain't going up. You stuck. Or you gotta get another job doing something totally different. And not to say people back then didn't work other jobs and do other things. I'm not saying that, but the people that had the type of jobs that I'm talking about, particularly, all of them was riding nice. All of them was well, not all. A lot of them had the cars in the lot. A lot of them had the houses. A lot of them were buying property if they knew to do that. But now it's not the same. It's not the same. So I think that also attributes to why dads, particularly I would say black fathers, are probably also home. Because they're like, man, I ain't gonna slave and work 80 hours just to be paid the same thing. I'm gonna take time and spend with my family, and I'm gonna invest my time into my kids so that they can go on and do the things that they need to do. That's my theory. Brother Dimitri, what's going on, bro?
I don't think that's a bad analogy. I think that's good. Could be.
Yeah. Brother
So
Smith.
I agree. I agree with you, bro. Here's what I'll say.
And it gives a theory, y'all. This ain't proven. I'm trying to put some pieces together, and we love to hear what y'all got to say in the audience too. Hit us up in the comments.
So I do realize that, you know what I mean. Again, just whether it was salary or hourly, right? The fact that, again, if we're talking about the opportunity and the potential to earn that kind of, that kind of living during that time period of life, you know what I mean? You got to think, man. When I was old enough to get my learner's permit, man, gas was 99 cents a gallon.
Come on, bro. I was just thinking about that.
99 cents a gallon.
Thinking about that.
Like, and the other day I drive past the gas station and it was like it said maybe 29 or 4.19 or something like that. And I got excited. I was like, man, I done filled up recently, but I might need to just go top it off because like when we're getting excited about $4 plus gas, that means we are not in a good place economically as a society. And we're talking
not like people thought we would be, right? Because you brought in a leader thinking that they had all this business sense, and really they just had sense for themselves.
Please, listen, please, bro, help me. I'm trying to again. You know, I say this at least once a week on here. Like, you know,
all right, man. We not trying to get reported or banned because apparently there's watchers, there's people watching and listening.
They can watch all they want. I'm telling you, I'm just trying to, you remember the original Incredible Hulk show?
Yeah.
When Bill Bixby would say, he'd say, please don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry, and I already got on green. Like, don't let I be trying, I be trying to channel my inner Wallace Smith and then in the most productive way possible. But then all of him comes out when you start saying stuff like that, like, oh man. So I try to keep him,
Well, let's I being the practical person that I am, let's talk about like things we could practically do ourselves in our own homes, right? So one brother on here was just talking about entrepreneurialism, which honestly I was thinking about that too, because there were people that have gone into that being entrepreneurs to where there's no salary cap, right? You can earn as much as you're willing to put in and invest. That takes some time, some effort. It takes some connections too to get there, but it's definitely possible because people have done it. And I was watching the documentary, A Rebel for a Cause, about W.E.B. Du Bois. If y'all get a chance to watch that, check it out. And one of the things that we had to do during Reconstruction was people wasn't going to give us any loans. The dominant culture wasn't going to give us the desired land, so we had to do everything ourselves. So we had to create our own businesses. We had to create our own brew. You probably know about this, the Susu circles, the lending circles and stuff like that. We had to barter and trade. We had to be our own banks. We had to keep our own deeds because they was doing some shady stuff. The records weren't being kept as they should. And I think we just got comfortable. We got to a point where we were just like, you know what? We finally made it. We finally arrived. Barack Obama became the president, and now we could just sit back and chill. And I think we chilled as a society. And now to hear people say I haven't seen nothing this bad since Ronald Reagan, bro, I wasn't even born when Ronald Reagan was the president. Yo, you on mute.
You weren't born when he got elected, but you were born.
Oh yeah, I was born. Yeah. You're right. 80, right?
Yeah.
80? Yeah, 80. Yeah.
Then he took office 81.
Yeah.
You were around. You know what I mean?
I was around. I was here.
You didn't necessarily feel Reaganomics, but we saw the aftermath.
Yeah.
And so, again, I think I said this as well last week. One of the things my wife says all the time, and we grew up in the best era to be a kid, in the absolute worst time to be an adult.
Yo, was you say that last? You were the one that said that, right?
Yeah,
man, I said that to somebody, B, and they was like, "Yo, you right."
As a mouth,
you really right.
Like, greatest time to be a kid, man. I would, if somebody said, would you do it all over again, man? If you could say, take me back to the 80s and through the 90s again, man, sign me up today.
Yeah.
Today, man.
Yeah.
Today. But man, listen, when you're talking about adulthood right now, like we got bopped, and this is not, this is not anti-higher education or anything like that. I am absolutely all for go get. Man, shout out to sis. I see you wearing the Kentucky Wildcats hat.
Yeah, I had to do it.
Yeah. Shout out to sis for getting their doctorate. I'm all for it. What I'm saying is that is not necessarily the only path to financial freedom that exists. Mm-hmm. But we got sold that dream as being the kids of the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And man, I talked to a young man really, really, I love this young man, right? He was like, man, I'm graduating, and you know, I'll say this: he's not of African ethnicity, so
Mhm.
such a respectful young man. I mean, every time we just have a good relationship.
Mhm.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to electrician school, and I'm like, I mean, and he mapped out, he walked out his whole plan for me. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna, I'm gonna buy a couple of houses, buy a couple of properties. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and I'm like, wow. He was like, yeah. He was like, I don't see going into a lot of debt, and for what, when I can just go, go to trade school. And he was like, I already have. He was like, he's got a summer job lined up to work with an entrepreneur, someone who has their own business, doing asphalt, so driveways and whatnot. And he was like, I'm going to do that for the summer, save all that money. He was like, and then I'm going to electrician school in the fall. And he was like, I've already connected with someone who's going to get me connected with the union, and so I'll be a journeyman while I'm learning. And then I'm like, man, this young brother got, this young man, he's got it.
I,
He
I,
He not being sold the dream. And to Dimitri's point about entrepreneurship and that pathway, like if we, this is what I would honestly do, and this is some free game for somebody who may be on their way to college. If somebody dropped me back in fall of 1999 and I'm on Brockport campus, I would have looked at my friends and said, listen, as soon as y'all get y'all refund check, we need to have a meeting, and then we need to go to the first auction we can get to and buy an income property that we can flip.
especially when you don't have no kids, no responsibilities, man. You can fail.
Exactly.
You can fail.
Like it's loaned money anyway, so we're gonna have to pay it back at some point. So let's use it to flip it. Let's flip it. Like instead of going buying
and it's
some
for
drawers,
educational cause.
Yeah,
it's for educational cause.
Oh, you're gonna learn how to be a homeowner. So yeah, there's a lot of education you're gonna get. And so I just think, I'm like, man, if you got 5 friends and they come and they bring y'all that refund check, man, pool that money, go start y'all a LLC and go get you a property and flip that joint. If somebody,
that's free game, bro. That's free game right there, y'all.
If somebody say, okay, man, hey, I done made my nice little chunk of change and I'm good. Hey, you buy them out at their percentage, and everybody keep it pushing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But think about it. You about to be getting these checks every year, or matter of fact, every semester you getting a refund check.
Bro, the house I'm sitting in right now. Guess how I got that down payment?
Refund check.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Listen,
yes, sir.
Flip that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's multiplied many times over now. Yeah. Over the last 10 years.
Flip that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's you winning.
Yeah, because I listen, I do work in school. I mean, I do work at home. At home is a classroom. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put my money into getting a house. I'm doing work here.
Yeah,
why not?
Absolutely. And so, they say we perish for what we didn't know, for the lack of knowledge, and they were killing us because we didn't know. And then, again, no fault to our parents. You know what I mean? They wanted the best for us, but what happened was college became like a status symbol for our parents. So they're like, oh, my baby's going to college, and listen. I like I said, I'm not anti higher education. I saw some HBCU graduations. I was looking at some HBCU graduations over the weekend, and they was having full on church services. They was shouting going across the stage, and man, one of the graduations they had somebody who had an organ and was playing.
Yo, shout out to Southern University, bro.
Yeah,
shout out to Southern University.
Playing shout music, like I loved every bit of it. You know what I mean? Loved every bit of it. I'm saying we didn't get the full picture. They didn't give us the full picture.
That's the key. That's the key, bro. We didn't get the full picture, because if we would have gotten the full picture, we would have did exactly what you were talking about. And I heard somebody say this. They said, "Well, why would you put kids into a private school? Because you buy a network. You want to go to places that have a network of people whose parents are probably doing well, which means those kids are probably going to do well, or there's going to be some opportunity there, or you might be the opportunity at the school. So if you're going to do college, one, have a plan. We talked about that last week, so catch our last show because we talked about that. But the other piece of it is that, like, you don't know who you're going to meet in school. I met y'all. Like, that totally changed my direction and where I was going. Because if I had not met y'all, I'd probably be still doing the same thing I was doing before, and that was a whole lot of nothing. Until my eyes were open to the possibilities that are out there, and that's what college does. But that could be really expensive, especially when you don't do anything with it. So I think the other part of the picture is that entrepreneurship should be part of everybody's plan. It should be part of everybody's plan. We all have a skill, like, yeah, you might work somewhere and that's fine. You might be able to do 40 years. I think what our parents did what they thought was best at the time. So there's no knock to that. I think because now we have more knowledge and we have more experience, we can say like, hey, like, yes, this might be great now, but we need to look out 10, 20 years in the future. Like, what's the next thing that's going to be coming? So we know that there's AI, right? So we need to be preparing them for the future, preparing them for things that, shoot, we might not use regular money 10 years from now. We might be using all crypto, right? And so we don't know, but we should be prepared.
In 10 years, we'll probably be a cashless society. I mean, you gotta, just the writings on the wall. A couple of years ago, we stopped manufacturing pennies. There's pennies aren't in rotation, which is kind of crazy because when you look at that, it factors in and you say, okay, so what happens then if everything's got to be rounded differently now? So if you do the math on a price, it's gonna be rounded to the nearest nickel now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like you route it to the nearest nickel. It's you know what I mean? That is just, but again, where we're ultimately headed is a cashless society. So I think you're absolutely right there. I think what's the AI, it's not going anywhere. We got to learn to live in a society with it. I do think we have to be very intentional as a generation of parents now, and what how the conversation that we're having. Again, our parents did the best they could, and in most cases, and so it just we didn't. You don't know what you don't know,
right?
And so, but for us, it's like, hey, we know there's a lot more that they're trying to, catch us with the okey doke, I guess, if you will. So we have to be vigilant and make sure that we're educating our kids so that way they don't fall for the okey doke. I am with you on. I tell everybody. I told my father-in-law this. My father-in-law is retired. There's no reason in the world that on a fixed income, on a retirement income, so it's fixed, right? How there is no more overtime, that the government should be trying to say you owe them taxes. Like, no, man,
crazy.
So I tell people, use the same tax laws, right? Rather than getting upset and saying the rich need to pay their fair share of taxes, man, use the same laws that exist that they're using and use it ourselves.
Yo, information is power, bro.
Yeah,
information is power, and using it is even more powerful, man.
Amen.
That's where it's at, bro. Because I'm just at a point now, like, we know better. When I say we know better, we know more. And we gotta exercise that, man. So like, I'll give y'all an example, right? My son, I don't know if y'all saw the video, but he wants to start a podcast. Now he's been asking me for like 6 months, Dad, do the podcast, Dad. Can we get merch, Dad? Can we do this? And I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, yo, let me stop what I'm doing right for a second. And let me focus on getting this up and going because this is something that's important to him, man. It's like your son Bryson B and what he's doing, in the entertainment world, man. And I know it ain't football, but it's something that he like and he enjoy, and y'all putting everything y'all got into it to make sure that he has the best setup, man, to do that. And I think that's what it is, man. So as our children, if you got young children, this is my free game here. You watch what they do and watch what they're good at. And whatever they're really good at, like naturally, focus on that. Focus on that and build that up. So for example, my daughter, she's really good at drawing. Like she just drew, I don't know, some characters in her sketchbook and it looks phenomenal. I wish I could show it to y'all. Like we put money into that. We put time into that. We put resources around that, man, people for her so that she can be able to exercise, that growing expertise that she has, in drawing. And like with KJ, I'm like, KJ like to talk, he like to connect with people. Shoot, let's do it. Why not? I got the equipment. It's not like I ain't got it. I have it. So let's do it. So I think, man, that's what we're going to see more of now. We're going to see more of that in this world where, kids are being molded a little bit earlier, as opposed to just waiting until high school or wait until they get to college. Like, nah, we're going to start now. I think we always should have started at a young age, getting them ready.
You know what, bro? I completely agree with you. I say this, and this kind of, this might be my closing thought on entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
I heard a saying once, and it was, every day you spend not building your own dream is one day more you spend building someone else's. Like, so if you like, hey, if you punch in the clock, I ain't mad at you. I punch a clock. But man, I be doggone if I'm not finding pockets to build, you know what I mean, what I believe is my long-term exit strategy. You know what I mean? Like this, we can keep working on this and doing, doing this, but at some point, and I told my mom this, man, if y'all like, listen, the number of people that my mom fed through, you know what I mean, while I was an undergrad was crazy. But I told my mom this. I said, listen, mom, if you did what God gifted you to do, you would never have to punch a clock. But I understand the reality of her, she grew up at a time where safe money, that safe long-term kind of security was what was, you were told to pursue that. And so
Yeah,
now,
because of the time, man, it was less opportunity. Yeah.
well, and again, it was, there was a certainty that came with it. When you got a family, you got kids.
Yeah.
Like entrepreneurship comes with risk, right?
Risk.
So,
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, now I know you don't have the same energy as you did when we was younger, but necessarily, but if you do what you're gifted to do, you won't ever have to punch another clock a day in your life. And I told her that because Colonel Sanders was in his 70s before he touched $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky
Fried Chicken. Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, we don't give no, write a check, KFC. Y'all owe us a check. You know what I mean?
But you know what though, like I said this before, man. The money and resources, man, it's not for us the whole time, right? It's for whoever's coming next. But that can be given, that can be taken away. That's that could be replenished. But we don't get time back, bro. We don't get time back. Like time is the ultimate resource. It is unrenewable. Can't renew time. Well, you can renew time in a sense of having more opportunities within a short span of time, but the time itself, you don't get that back. 70 years is 70 years. You don't get 70 years again. You know what I mean? So I think my closing thought is this: with everything that we talked about today, is time is important. It's not renewable, and we need to take advantage of it. We need to invest. You know, every chance we get, we need to be investing into ourselves, investing into our spouses, investing into our children, into our family, into our friends who mean something to us, man. Because when the day come, oh, that's it. And then we're gonna move, and then we're gonna go and be in a place that has no time, right? But I'm all about doing the things that I need to do while I'm here on Earth, man, because that's that's why I'm here.
I agree with you, bro. Like, you know what I mean. We got to build. We got to build something. That's my thought. Is we have to build something.
Yeah.
You know. So that's what I'm gonna build something, so that way my kids, they say your children and your children's children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the goal. We're gonna build something, and they're gonna have it to be able to look back on it. And I'm just using the strategies that everyone else has used.
Yeah.
Robert Kiyosaki said this, and he said this in the '90s. He wrote a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. So if anybody's familiar with Robert Kiyosaki, he said,
and I read that on a bus going to a college tour.
Yeah. He said the way that people are going to get wealthy or become wealthy in the future is through. He used the phrase network marketing. I'm going to use a phrase that I feel a lot more comfortable with, because I think network marketing has gotten a little, it's gotten a derogatory name. But if when I think of Kwanzaa and Dr. Melinda Karenga, cooperative economics.
Yeah.
If we support our own, listen, Bruiser, send your links for, for your businesses, for the mask and everything that you're doing. You know what I mean? Send those links, man. If you looking for gifts for Greeks, man, plug in with them. Like if you need photography, videography, plug in with Kareem. You know what I mean? Like
if you need somebody to jerk some chicken and some pork and some rice and peas from the Caribbean, I like your boy.
Absolutely.
Yep. If you need haircut, go see Balel.
Hey, make it happen.
You know what I mean? Like there's businesses. You know what I'm saying? We got to build these. We got to build and grow these businesses, because again, what we do is we impact generations.
Yeah,
we've already changed the trajectory of the lives of our kids. Just getting to where we've gotten in our lives. So now let's really set them up. You know what I mean? Let's build so that way, you know what I mean? And again, and let's support one another. I don't come and I don't be like, yo, you charge too much. Like, I went and supported my nephew. He's his significant other, open a business, and I went like, yo, how can I support? You know what I mean? And I ain't asked for no family discount or nothing like that. Like, yo, your price is your price. Here you go. You know what I mean? And I'll be back again to support. That's, you know what I'm saying? Support is what it does. Like, show up, support. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got man. I was supposed to be done, but I gotta at this point, man. I think it's for all of us and anybody that's in business. Like, you could do things that you like and you think people will like. What if you started businesses that people need? Right? Think about things that people need all the time. And what if we did that? Or they call like sometimes like boring businesses, right? Like laundromats, stores, um, gas stations, whatever, like stuff that people always going to need to get these things. What if we did that? Took that money, that profit, and then put it into a passion project, and then say, you know what, I really like doing this, but let me make this money over here. Let me get it going, and then I'll take that pieces of that, and then I'll fund. You know who talked to me about that? Y'all remember Shamari that used to have Taj's back in the day? He he was reason why he was able to open up that bar is because, or that lounge. I'm sorry, lounge is because he had a business that everybody will go to, and he took that money from that business, and that's how he was able to have the lounge. So I think sometimes we get it. Sometimes we're backwards with it. We do this thing we like, but everybody else might not want that. What if we did something that people actually want? Do that and then work on our passion project. Just a thought.
Well, I'll say this too. I mean, you absolutely like, because I've heard this as it relates to like, you got anytime you're responding to a need, like there's going to be, support around it. But man, I say even bigger than that. Figure out what you were put here on earth to do. My dad always said, man, always said this: the two greatest days of a man's life are the day he's born and the day he figures out why.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out what you've been put here to do, and if you pursue that, rest. You know what I mean? Like again, you won't have to chase a dollar; it will chase you.
They're chasing you.
You will be walking in purpose.
Yeah,
walk in purpose, and it's going. You know what I mean? It's going.
But money is not a means to an end, though. It's a means to a beginning. You know what I mean? Like it's an it creates the opportunities to do things that, like, what's his name? Like Booker T. Washington, right? He needed a school, so he said, you know what? Listen, we're gonna use these skills that we're learning in school. We're gonna put them back towards the institution, and now the institution has grown to become Tuskegee University, which has a monumental, history. Just because they took those skills that were needed in order to create the university and keep it going, and now it's going today. So, man, we keep going for a minute on this though. I'm really passionate about this topic because we cooperative economics, bro.
Absolutely.
Cooperative economics, man.
Support one another, man. So let's support one another.
Yeah.
Hey, if y'all need some good barbecue out there, man, check out Lenwood Barbecue, baby. Shout out Lenwood.
Oh man, we miss Lenny, man.
Yeah.
We miss Lenny, man.
Sir.
Lenny, I think Lenny made some ribs or something. I was like, bruh, you gonna put that on the internet?
Nah. Yo. So side it just took me for a whole different, because in our, so y'all know we fraternity brothers, so we have a group chat outside of this, and one of the brothers made reference to another brother in his grilling. It said he made it had a brisket tasting like leather. And Brew, you already know who I'm talking about.
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
No, because he's not on the chat.
I'm not on the chat. I took myself out of it. But I already know. I don't know which one of the briskets.
It wasn't me.
Tastes like a leather, but I know it ain't me. I know it's definitely not me. So y'all can take me away from that equation as I take myself away from that equation.
Yeah, I was crying laughing off of that.
Ain't nobody in that chat, man, is bad enough to talk about my cooking skills.
No. It was definitely.
Nah, you didn't even come up close.
Yeah. So I'm cool.
Listen, what I say, you legit could have a whole restaurant.
I know, man. I know, bro. I know. If I could take my little man with me, bro, I'll be in the Rock tomorrow. I'll be back in the Rock tomorrow, man.
Yeah, man. We got to make that happen, man.
I'll be back on the rock tomorrow if I would have had that situation, man, if I could get this situation.
Hey,
But
hey, you don't know how things will shake out, right? So,
hey,
opportunity when opportunity comes, we just got to know to take it when it comes.
hey man, and the funny thing is, me and Emma had the perfect spot for it too. Perfect spot, man.
Mhm.
Yo,
Has I see it was a situation. If that situation, and I would still be in the rock, I would be helping the undergrads out because it had like a little room, a nice little room, with over 250 people in the room.
oh man.
You know what I'm saying, man? Yeah, it'd have been different. It'd been different, man.
I'm gonna say this too. One of the things. So, I hope our friends from earlier, uh, uh, who are watching, who had early comments, are still around, so they can hear this religious talk. So we're in a talk the series that my bishop is in is called the Talk series, and he's talking about speaking things. And one of the revelations that it
Yeah.
just this is one of the things that God hit me as he's been in this series is we often say, and we've heard it, right? Say those things that be not as though they were, right?
Right.
So speaking it into an existence. I'm speaking from existence. Like okay, I have this so I can do this. So
Mhm.
I'm literally I'm manifesting it from a place that of existence. Like I'm here speaking it as if it's already in existence.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
speaking to existence. I'm speaking from existence.
Yeah, because it's already like if it's when it's given to us, it's already here. It's already in our minds, man. It's already happening. Like in our head is that's why with children, when they think about stuff, they believe it's happening like right then and there. Like you can't tell them it's not happening. Like in their minds, it's happening. And it's happening right now. And we as adults, man, we've lost that because we've grown up and the world has hit us or has knocked us down or whatever the case may be. But yeah, man, it started here. And when we speak it, like you saying, is that we're actually repeating what is already happening or what has already happened. And we
Because
have to keep speaking that.
because reality is the cost of our dreams.
Mm, mm,
Like reality is like the when you say, oh, like, man, how much do my dreams cost? Your dreams cost your reality. Like how much those Jordans cost? You can look right at them Jordans and they exactly how much they cost. How much do my dreams cost?
mm,
Or how much does this reality cost? It costs your dreams.
yeah. And are we willing to pay for it?
Man, that's why I tell you, if you're not every day you spend not building your own dream to some capacity, is a day you spent building somebody else's.
Mhm.
Build your
All right.
dream.
Shoot. With that, we're gonna wrap it up, man. We seen some appreciate you brothers, man, in the show, man. Like this has really been just went in a whole different direction than how we kind of thought. But that's what I love about Bro Talk is that we just have the conversation, we just roll with it and really speak from the heart. So since Isaac's not here, I'll go ahead and just kind of shout some people out. We got a couple people here from YouTube. Shout out to them. We got brother Ellis Randall. Shout out to you, my brother. Demetrius Jackson watching all the way from the West Coast. Shout out to you.
What's up,
Appreciate
D?
you.
What's up, D?
We got brother Robert C. Walker Smith. What's going on, bro? Good to
Brother
hear from you
Smith,
and see you. And we also have Mrs. Raquel Kim Walker.
my
Appreciate you for being
my
on.
sister.
And
He
I
said,
think and anybody else that was on part of the show, if I don't see your name, appreciate you very much. Um, definitely appreciate y'all for joining us tonight. Brothers, let's do some last shout outs and we'll keep it popping. Keep it going.
Go ahead, B.
Yo, shout out to my youngest man. He is his school play. We've been talking about it for months. It is upon us this Friday and Saturday. He will be making his lead debut in the Shrek Junior the musical. So like he's excited. I'm excited. I'm just and it's gonna be a dope weekend for the Smith family, man. My oldest, he's got a 7-on-7 tournament at a with CTC. Shout out to CTC, man, and all the amazing work they're doing. And they're going to be they got invited to an invite only 7-on-7 tournament at Syracuse University. So again, the invite onlys are when you start to really when you start knowing you really ringing bells. Like when you get invited to invite only, you know your program is performing and your name is ringing bells. So shout out to them and the opportunity to be able to just perform and showcase their talents on in front of some top tier coaching. Also shout out to my guy Zeke Tukes, man. His son is, man, again, just number one ranked player in New York State, man. And in football, he was on. I saw this past weekend they had a visit to the Florida Gators, man. And you talk
Wow,
again,
man.
yeah.
What is he? A running back? What is he?
I put defensive tackle in the
tackle.
and he is, just athletic, agile, man, strong.
You know who he remind me of? Clay Hurt. He was the last one to get recruited at least at the lineman position, get recruited like heavy like that.
Yeah,
we talking that's the 90s, so it's been some time.
He is. I mean, he is impressive, man. Extremely impressive.
That's what's
up. So shout out to Zeke, man, my guy.
What school he plays with?
Brighton.
Brighton
school. Yeah. I see you like he tough, man. And he, I mean, just offense, defense, just all the way around. Like he dominated the state championship game. You know what I mean?
What is he going to play though when he goes to college?
I believe D tackle is like he
owns that.
Oh yeah, I mean he's tough on the O line too. But I just feel like his athleticism on the D line, you're not gonna be able to block him. You're not gonna be able to find a whole lot of guys who can block him. For
that's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, he's dominating. So shout out to him, man, and again, shout out to the wife, man, Team Smith. She done pushed out these two boys, and they just doing amazing things. So I gotta shout her out because without her, listen. Ain't no Team Smith. It's just be me.
It'd be a solo.
Yeah, and we, you know what I'm saying. I like a line.
I hear you.
Yeah, I did too.
Man, you do some very solo stuff.
Solo do solo stinks. Hey man, shout out to my son, man, Josiah David, man.
Yes,
shout
sir.
him out. He had
Oh
another couple more weeks in school, and he's gonna be going to camps, little sports camps there and there, man. I'm looking forward to it. We have a summer enrichment program he's gonna get into as well too, just to keep him sharp for the upcoming fourth grade. It's gonna be a fourth grader. You know what I'm saying?
Moving.
Shout out to you, brothers. I miss my boy Ike today, man. Love that brother, man. But I know he had to take care of some things. So shout out to my brother Ike. Shout out to Ike's wife, my sister Ezra. Shout out to his kids, man. Shout out to y'all brothers, y'all significant others, and y'all kids as well. Shout out to Miss Karen Pashadley, Rachel Grant, Doris, Ernie Walker Jr. Love and respect to you all, man, and all the people in the Rock that have touched me. You know what I'm saying? In the past, nothing but love. My sister Raquel, love and respect to you as always, man. Justin and all you guys, man, love.
Appreciate it.
That's it for me.
All right. I got quite a few things to shout out. First thing, want to shout out for Men of Distinction. It's a program that's happening on June 13th. There's some flyers out. If you just look on my page, you'll see the flyer out for that. It is for men. It's part of the Father's Day program. Checked it out. We have our very own Shafon Hagens, and also Eddie Blanding Jr., who are the speakers for that day. Next, we have a mental health program where Bro Talk was invited to come in person. That's late June. We'll have some more coming out about that, but we'll be speaking in front of a live audience. Next, we have. So I want to shout out to my one of my cousins. Got hit by a drunk driver, and there's a fundraiser out. Yeah, there's a fundraiser out right now because she's in nursing school. So if you check out my page, put a link down. But if you can support that, that would be wonderful. To support her. Thankfully, she's okay, and we'll continue to move forward and live a healthy life. So definitely want to appreciate everybody for wanting to help with that. Next, actually, I'll do that last. Yo, I want to give a shout out to the brother that said that he don't live in Miami, he don't live in Colorado, but he outside.
Outside.
He outside. Shout
That
out
boy.
to the New York Knicks for being in the finals. So
I'm about to
just
get a
know,
whooping. I'm about to get a whooping.
listen, man. I saw a thing online that said, I think it's true. Says that crime has gone down during the 10-game stretch for the playoffs. And that is believed to be because everybody's focusing on the Knicks right now. So big Knicks energy right now. Yeah, shout out to D Block. Next, want to shout out to my pastor who defended his dissertation and is officially Dr. Melvin Cross Jr.
What's
So
up,
definitely
Mel?
want to shout him out.
Shout out, Mel.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Congrats.
I also want to shout out to bRho, you know him. By the way, you might do too. Miles Hood. Jonathan, yeah, that's your cousin. What am I talking about?
Miles.
Yeah, so Miles just got hired. Actually, he's leaving tomorrow. He got hired by Georgetown.
He's down here somewhere.
Yep. So he's gonna be working there. I hooked him up with one of the bros. I don't know if you remember Ariel Pasante from Binghamton. Yeah. AP. So got linked them up together. So I appreciate that. And then lastly, I want to shout out to the one who has been a shining example for our family of what it means to be a mom and to be a sister, to be a wife. Dr. Brandy Hayes.
My wife.
I definitely want to shout her out. My wife, the one who I gotta go home and lay in the bed with.
That you gotta go. You gotta go. Gotta.
My wife.
Did I get the opportunity?
Yeah.
I'm there. So shout out to everybody that's been on the call with us. We appreciate y'all being here with us tonight. Hey, when you get a chance, do us a favor. If you see a black business, hear about a black business, or thinking about a black business, go ahead and support. Definitely need your support. And that's it. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. Be blessed.
Peace and love.
Peace out.
I want to know who did that role.